way and tightening those things up a little bit more. So we've got a lot of stuff to situationally still cover: offense, defense, special teams. We got one final, kind of live scrimmage situation that will happen this week, and then, we start kind of flipping our mindset a little bit to that first week. So we got a lot of work to get done. Our guys have probably had their hardest 4-day stretch that they're going to have for fall camp, and the fact that we went 2-a-day scrimmage, 2-a-day full pads today, 2 padded practices tomorrow, and then a scrimmage the following day. So we're gonna get after it pretty good here over the next 5 days and cover a lot of things, but it's kind of tightening up on some of those situational areas that we got to be good at. First week opponent's pretty damn good.
Yeah, there's one thing about it, some learning that certain things you can't see is doing your job. What's jumped out at you to see the staff work over the last 6 months?
I've seen a few things. I mean, and not to say that the previous staff didn't have some of those things, but I've been very impressed with organization, discipline. There was a scenario on Saturday where Coach McHugh corrected a player, and I was watching from the press box, and he was right on, and I went down to the sideline before I left and made sure Coach McHugh knew that's what I'm looking for. And it was one of those things that, yeah, you want to play. It was a situation where you want to play hard. It was a scrimmage, and you want to show up on tape. I get it, but you can't show up on tape the wrong way. And that is, going after one of your own teammates is not acceptable. I think just the little things, watching the drills, just everything from practice, the schematic design and what they're trying to do. Coach, in his interview process, talked about it right away, that he's going to adjust to the players' skills. I think he's done that with what we have. I think as time will go on, as part of the marathon or the 5K, as Coach puts it, which I'm okay with the 5K, that he's going to bring in players that are also going to fit some of his ideas on how we're going to get there. But I've been most impressed with the organization, the discipline of our players, and the excitement and the enthusiasm. I think it's most telling when we had 46 players stay here this summer to work out together, find jobs locally, and making a commitment to each other and making a commitment to the program. We haven't had that before. And that's a key to success to building a college football program, that they're there in that summer putting the time in together as a team, relying on each other. So, these are all little signs, and that was Coach Larson and his staff's doing, is to convince those kids to stay and work and be together through the summer to get ready for the fall. So those are the things that I've identified right away.
I would say, honestly, just get better every single day. Look at practice as a way to get better and just focus on one thing. I know for me personally, each practice I kind of break down what I want to get better at, whether one day I want to do pass drops better, or one day I want to do my run reads better. So I would say just making improvements and, like he was saying, reach that potential, and then set a new goal and reach that one too. So.
Yeah, kind of like you said, a lot of little things that I know I need to correct, and with practice, I keep on working on those little things. And I think if I get some of those little things down, that I'll, greatly improve the way that I perform, on the field. So I think really just if I keep working on those things, I'll be fine.
I would say by the end of the season, my goal would be to be able to look back on the season and say, I did everything I could. I got, did one thing better every day, and by the end of the season that kind of came together and kind of reached your potential.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's my last year. I just want to leave the program better than when I got here. They talk about how they want it to be a 5K or whatever, but I'm for sure going to be sprinting. So.
I guess for the players, what are you guys most excited about this season?
There's a lot to be excited about, in my opinion. Just the new coaching staff, what they bring to the table, the intensity level, in every aspect, I'm excited. So it's kind of hard to just pinpoint one, but we're just excited to get going, get ready for that first weekend.
Yeah, kind of just branching off that. Sometimes it's kind of difficult when you have a whole new coaching staff and all the schemes are different, but I think the guys have all handled it very well, and just you can see that by the effort at our practices. We're willing to try anything new, and guys are just flying around and studying their playbooks up. So that's really exciting.
I think for a lot of guys, going out there trying to prove something, you know, after last year, whatever. So I think a lot of guys got things to prove.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's just exciting to finally get the chance to hit somebody else besides ourselves. I mean, we've been doing that for too long now, and we're excited for Saturday.
For you, Dan, obviously when you guys are developing the program, it's more than just wins and losses. Now you got to look beyond that. So what is your kind of benchmark this season going into it for success?
I mean, I don't know if that, I don't know that it would be any different 5 years from now in terms of setting a benchmark for success. We have high expectations here. You know, we want to win games. We want to compete to the top of this conference. We want to be competitive at a national level. You know, I don't think that is ever going to change. But there's a lot of other things that go into that as well. You know, our team GPA went up 2 whole letter grades from the spring, you know, from last fall through this spring coming into this upcoming year. It's getting and identifying some different schools and recruiting classes maybe that, you know, we can put together schools that we haven't had success in that now we go into and we start talking about because, you know, maybe it's just a different brand of football or a different way that we're talking about all the things that Eau Claire has to provide. You know, it's never just about being a football player here. It's about being a student athlete. So, you know, we're going to be a humble program with high expectations. You know, and that's, I think you could come and ask me that question. I don't care what our record would have been the previous season. I'm just going to tell you that it's always going to be the same. So it's kind of a vanilla answer, but, you know, it's also kind of what type of program we're going to be too. Very meat and potato and just go to work and believe however much hard work we put into it, the results will show.
I echo the same thing Coach Larson said. I mean, high expectations. I mean, I don't think anybody in the room has more higher expectations than I do, and I have to be. And I don't care if it's football or tennis or golf, whatever the sport is, we have high expectations. You know, we have an outstanding institution here, and you have 4 individuals up here that are working to progress towards a degree while being a student athlete. And it's about I take it personal to make sure that they're going to have the best experience leaving this institution, both academically and athletically. And you know, I'm going to keep working and keep grinding and still have balance, as talked about before. But we're gonna get after it to make sure that they walk away for. It doesn't matter if you were 0-10 or you're 10-0. That the experience is great. That you built a relationship with the institution. You built a relationship with your teammates and your coaches and your professors, that it's a lifelong lasting relationship, and that's what it's all about. Of course, it all starts with getting a degree, and getting a degree is because I say it to every recruit's parents. Nobody's going to care. JT's going to go to work in about, you know, in the next 2 years, 3 years, but 10 years from now, nobody's going to care how many touchdowns he threw or how many he ran in. All it's going to matter is he got a degree from this institution and he's got a job and what he's doing for his family, what he's doing for his community and his workforce. Because they never ask you your first, oh, you played football, right? No, they always ask you, they always say, hey, you graduated from UW-Eau Claire, right? And then the second part is, oh, you played football too, right? And that's where it's 1 and 2. That's why they call it student athlete. So having the ultimate student athlete experience is what we're going to be about. But don't get me wrong, I want to win. And I want to win it all. And that's what we're here to do. And this whole table is going to be up here working for years on end to get us to that promised land.
Coach, one of your big staples is to evaluate the personnel and adjust to it from there. From this group of guys, who's kind of the football mindset that you've seen from so far?
Humble and hardworking. I mean, that's, you know, we believe in being honest with our players. You know, I told them, I said, you know, we're not going to be the most athletic team that's going to show up every single Saturday. And that's okay. We can win a lot of football games without being the most athletic team on Saturday. But we got to be able to create a culture of work ethic around here that translates. And we should never put film on Sunday morning and see us play any differently, and it doesn't matter the score. You know, someone shouldn't be able to tell if we're up or down by how we play. So I think that's been the biggest ethic. I think that's been the biggest thing that's jumped out to me in regards to them is you know, we ask them to do something, we challenge them to do it. It's a very hard game to play, very demanding game to play. And so we've been very hardworking group. We've demanded a lot about them. They've jumped up. Some guys have jumped up a little quicker than others, which is always the way it goes. But the work that they're putting in, the attention to detail that they're working on, and then when we ask them to be a little bit more attentive to things that they're doing, they make a concerted effort to do that. So they've been great from that standpoint so far.
Right, and how does the game day experience change this year for the fans? We had the walkthrough that came in last year, of course, aesthetically for the fan base, but we see the new look and feel of the players who wear that, but what else could be changed, or are we seeing the same as last year?
I would say we're going to take a little bit of a step up than we did last year. My focus has been about game day experience, a family experience. Been asked multiple times, are we serving alcohol at games like other colleges? No, we're not. Because I don't think you need that to have a game experience. And so we're still going to have the police escort for our players. So again, it comes back to a student-athlete experience. And then you have a fan experience of being able to interact with the team as they enter into that stadium, along with the coaches. You know, festival foods and some of our corporate partners have really stepped it up their game to provide free food for our patrons in the parking lot. The music, as many festivities. We have kids' activities to bring families down. I mean, that was a focus last year, try to have as many night games as possible. We actually increased our attendance by 37% last year. So we're looking to continue on with that type of atmosphere. And then, like you just pointed out, and which I was going to try to end the press conference here with, but we have new uniforms. So we have a whole new look. Got a new coach, a new way of looking at things, a new era as we've stemmed our motto for the program. But we also have new digs and a new look with that. And you know, we've got multiple interchangeable uniforms now with 2 different style helmets. These are our true colors, originating colors. All of our teams are going to be in these colors from here on out. There is no deviation. Working with Nike in East Bay, we've established that criteria for which uniforms and how we are going to look, and we're going to be a unified look across the board, all 22 sports. And it kicks off right here with some of the new uniforms you see for football that are quite interchangeable with helmets, bottoms, tops. I think we're missing a gold. We're going to actually have a gold bottom eventually for our new uniforms. So we'll have quite the look. I think about 16 different combinations, which is about student-athlete experience again. And it's also about recruitment, because we can sell this to recruits. And, you know, instead of just having 2 sets of uniforms, you know, we have a couple different combinations. I'm not saying we're the Oregon Ducks by any means, but we're just trying to add to the repertoire to make it a little bit more fun and, you know, adds a little enthusiasm, a little excitement to the team.
Thank you all for coming. Members of the media, if you'd like to do some individual interviews, just let me know. Thank you all for coming today.
Thank you.
We'll let you know if we got them.